Today, a super cool, very smart new lock from ABUS. It's the Yardo, and you open it with your fingerprint. ABUS did introduce the Yardo in, I think it was June, July 2024. And I did test it now for 8 months because I really wanted to see how it behaves when it's autumn, when it's raining, and also when it's like super cold. We had -8 degrees in Hamburg, and also when it was outside, so if there was a lot of dirt and also dust. And let me tell you, this pretty smart Yardo lock works really well. And the cool thing about this is not only that I can use my fingerprint to open the lock, cannot get enough, it's very satisfying, but you do have the option that 20 different fingerprints can be stored in this little lock. So there are 2 administrators and 18 individual further fingerprints that can be stored in the Yardo lock. And the use case for me, for our family, exactly, it's the family lock. So especially our son, our 12-year-old son, he's the second administrator. I'm not so sure if that was a very clever idea, but anyhow, it was quite interesting for me to see if it's really working, and it is. And because like a key for a child or a teenager, I've been there, done that. No, it's just not working. And yeah, it took a lot of discussion and pressure from our family actually. And also like we do have locks that work with numbers, but those are sometimes not so easy in handling compared to the Yardo. And also the second use case for me is that we do have an office space and we do have an office bicycle. And so all co-workers and everyone who's working in the office can just leave their fingerprint, and there's no more asking like, where's the key, or I forgot the digits for the lock. So it's like a very interesting and cool smart feature. But also a bicycle lock, of course, has to be very safe and secure your bicycle. That is why I'm using it for my beautiful, most precious Designio bicycle, because it's very expensive and I don't want it to be stolen. And the Yardo has the security level 8, which is not the highest level, but it is a really high level. But of course, always check all the different boxes you have to tick that your bicycle is really secured. So always attach it to something that cannot be taken away or cannot be opened. And of course, I would always recommend, if you park it at home in your bicycle cellar or somewhere else, maybe you also use a second lock. The chain has 7 millimeters. It's made from steel. And so this part of the lock, which is quite nice, what I think, it has a silicone shell, sort of, so to protect your bicycle from being damaged, especially when you open and close the lock. And the sensor, it says it has a 360-degree sensor. So no matter how you use your finger, no matter how you put it on the sensor, the lock always opens. And as you can hear, there's also a little sound, and there's little LED lights, 4 in total, that turn green when you use the correct finger and fingerprint. Of course, one of my big worries was, how is it working internally? So there's some technique inside, and of course there's a battery that the sensor is working. And once the battery is empty, you do have up to 10 times to open the bike lock, and then it will not close again. But you do have a special sound, and you do have a different LED light signal when you know the battery is getting weaker and weaker. And it was super easy for me also to change the battery. If you order the ABUS, the Yardo lock, then of course there is a battery attached to your order. So for me overall, when I asked like my family and everyone else who was using this lock, and I also did check some did some research online. Up to now, there was no discussion that something wasn't working properly, because I'm always a bit skeptic, because if you do have something where some smartness or some disruption is involved, then I'm always thinking, okay, could also be maybe a source for bugs or for errors. But the Yardo, so far, we're like all super happy, and it still is so satisfying to open the lock. So overall, there are two lengths. I do have the 85 centimeters, and it was working really well for my regular e-bike. But there's also an option for 110 centimeters. So maybe that's interesting if you do have a cargo bike, or if you maybe want to lock when you're back home in your cellar or in your garage, when you want to lock all your bicycle families. Because then it's super easy for the whole family just to open the lock. Maybe the only disadvantage is that it's like not foldable, and you don't have really like a bike lock holder. So maybe you do it like I did, just like put it around your frame. But that's maybe the only thing that you have to keep in mind. So overall, my 8 months long test of the Yardo was really, really cool. I'm very happy, I'm very satisfied. Whenever we need a new lock, this one is definitely a really cool option for me. And if you did like this video, give us a thumbs up, and also maybe leave us a comment. How are your lock experiences? What is your favorite brand maybe? And please subscribe to this channel.